And what, 2 weeks now? 2 weeks into the last class? Woo! But hey, I'll tell you what, tonight we have reached Roman numeral cinco. Roman numeral 5, if you're following along with the introductory outline handout that I gave at the very beginning of class, but we are actually looking at the next part of Christ's ministry. That is from the second Passover to the third. And so we're actually going to tonight look specifically at the next account or the next event that most likely took place in the life of Christ, chronologically speaking, at least according to my chronological map that I laid out. It could be wrong completely, but the next event from my logical conclusion would be that next Christ went to the pool of Bethesda, and that's going to be recorded in John chapter 5. So if you have your Bibles, go ahead and open to John chapter 5. And I know that this chapter is a lengthy read, 47 verses, but it all takes place in one scenario that occurs. By the way, we do have a handout for tonight. Did anybody grab one? Does anybody need one?
For tonight.
No, there's still more copies back there. Also, just FYI, since we're going through another bipolar phase with the weather here in Denison, and now it's starting to get warm, I started to get real bad cotton mouth today, so I have gum in my mouth to kind of help keep the saliva going. But if my gum distracts you, and if the chewing just annoys you, please let me know, and I'll quickly just get rid of it. All right, Greg?
It'd be okay if you don't blow bubbles.
No, I'm not gonna blow bubbles. Yeah. Like I said, I've just been bad cotton mouth all day, so. But John chapter 5, and really, we're gonna be, hopefully, I doubt that we're gonna cover the entire chapter tonight, but we're at least gonna be able to look at the miracle event that takes place here at the pool of Bethsaida or Bethesda, depending on, I guess, the version that you're reading from. Some versions translate it Bethesda or Bethsaida. Others say Bethesda with a Z instead of an S.
Bethesda.
Yeah, Bethesda. Yours says, yeah, Bethesda. Yeah, so it's going to be different readings, but it's all referring to the same place. It's the same place. It's a big pool. And so it takes place here in Jerusalem by the sheep gate. So can I get, let's see. Let's go ahead and just start by looking at verses 1 through 17 at first. And so does anybody want to take a stab at that? Metaphorically speaking, meaning read. Yeah. Chris, okay.
After these things, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now, there is in Jerusalem by the sheep gate a pool, which is called in Hebrew Bethesda, having 5 porticos. In these lay a multitude of those who were sick, blind, lame, and withered, waiting for the movement of the waters. For an angel of the Lord went down at certain seasons into the pool and stirred up the water. Whoever then first, after the stirring up of the waters, stepped in was made well from whatever disease with which he was afflicted. A man there who had been ill for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he had already been a long time in that condition, he said to him, "Do you wish to get well?" The sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no man to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up. But while I am coming, another steps down before me." Jesus said to him, "Get up, pick up your pallet, and walk." Immediately the man became well and picked up his pallet and began to walk. Now it was the Sabbath on that day. So the Jews were saying to the man who was cured, "It is the Sabbath, and it is not permissible for you to carry your pallet." But he answered them, "He who made me well was the one who said to me, 'Pick up your pallet and walk.'" They asked him, "Who is the man who said to you, 'Pick up your pallet and walk'?" But the man who was healed did not know who it was, for Jesus had slipped away while there was a crowd in that place. Afterward, Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, "Behold, you have become well. Do not sin any more, so that nothing worse happens to you." The man went away and told the Jews that it was Jesus who had made him well. For this reason, the Jews were persecuting Jesus, because he was doing these things on the Sabbath. But he answered them, "My Father is working until now, and I myself am working."
All right, thanks, Chris. So kind of give a little bit of a background, or at least an overview of what's going to be happening in this next part of his ministry. Again, this is Christ's ministry from the second Passover going to the third one. Now what we're going to see here, the one big thing that's going to stand out from all the events that we're going to be covering is the fact that he is going to start getting a lot of high ridicule and persecution from
Pharisees.
the Jews. Pharisees, yes. Yeah, from the Jews and the Pharisees. And so now, here I'd say would be the beginning of where they are really going to start laying in on their attacks. Right now, at this point, I mean, John even reveals that this is the point of why they're trying to seek to kill him, is because he did a miracle, helping someone, healing someone on the Sabbath. But not just that, but he's going to make a bold statement here later on in the next few verses. This is what we're going to look at, because they're going to confront Jesus about this. And so Jesus is going to give a defense. And it is a powerful, logical defense. And it's just amazing to be able to read through it. But first, I want us to kind of look at this event right here, okay? Because normally, if you recall, John's gospel account, whenever there was normally a miracle or a sign that was performed, it often conveyed what? A message, yes, good job. Exactly, a message, a heavenly message. So it's normally a miraculous, a supernatural event designed to teach a heavenly message. And so in this case, what would you suppose that this heavenly message was? From this healing of the lame man at the pool of Bethesda. I'm going to refer to it as Bethesda. Yeah.
Well, this is showing his power
Showing his power.
and his compassion.
And his compassion side, absolutely. I mean, we're going to see that with all of his miracles. I mean, we're going to see his power. We're going to see his compassionate side. We're going to see his caring side. And that's just, he's showing and revealing who God is. Because in the context, in his defense, when he is defending himself against the Pharisees, he is going to prove to them that he and God the Father are one. He's going to be proving his deity, that he is one with the Father, that he is the Son of God, that he is God himself in the flesh. And right now, he's already been showing what God the Father looks like. He tells later on in the gospel account that whoever has seen me has seen who?
My Father.
The Father, absolutely. And so he is going to be showing the Father what the Father looks like. And he's caring, and he's compassionate, and he's all powerful. Anybody else?
I was going to say the last verse, sin no more, lest a worse thing will come upon you. So, don't sin or something's going to happen. And I'm sure something will happen. But I don't know. I haven't read that far yet. So.
Well, you're on the right track, okay?
Would you repeat what she said?
She said she believes that the heavenly message is found right there in verse 14. He says, "See that you are well, sin no more, that nothing worse may happen to you." And so we're going to start with that right there, because you're on the right track here, all right? You're on the right track, because let me ask you this. What question was the crippled man given by Jesus?
Do you wish to get well?
Do you wish to get well?
You will be healed.
You want to be healed. Yeah. The lame man beside the pool of Bethesda was asked a penetrating question by Jesus our Lord. Do you want to be made well? Now, that Greek word for well is the same word that's translated, do you want to be made whole? Is this crippled man whole? How long has he been paralyzed? 38 years. 38 years. Now let's go to question 1 real quick on our handout sheet. Question number 1 is, why was the pool of Bethesda overly crowded? What does the text say?
Because there was miraculous water there.
Feast of the Jews.
What's that?
It was a healing.
It's a,
They thought it was. Go ahead. Okay.
well, I was just reading number 1 of the Feast of the Jews.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. During this time, there was a feast of the Jews that took place during this. Yeah. And so the question, number 1, was why was the pool at Bethesda overly crowded?
The water had.
Yes. Okay, so these two answered it, and then y'all just answered it again. Yes. And then so it is the water, okay? They believed what about the water there at the pool?
An angel come down and stirred it up.
That an angel had come down and stirred it up during a season. And so again, if we were to take just for example, like the seasons of like our calendar, we have how many seasons in the year? 4. So let's just take, again, hypothetically, that this happened only 4 times a year. An angel came at a season. So let's just take, hypothetically, about a season like ours. Only 4 times a year when it would go. And this man has been paralyzed for 38 years. And so I think, let's see.
38 times 4 is what you're trying to say?
Yeah, 38 times 4 would be what? Anybody got calculators? Anybody a math whiz?
182.
100 and what?
150.
152. Okay, so 152 times. He's been trying to get down to that pool and he's never able to get there. Why?
He can't get there first.
He can't get there first. I mean, because who else is there? Every other person with a physical ailment. Those who were what? Blind, lame, and paralyzed. Multitude of invalids. And the man even told Jesus, well, in a way, through implication, he was kind of putting the blames on other people, saying like, I can't get there to the pool because of all these other people. All these other people, they get there before me. Nobody's got, I don't have a friend, I don't have a family member that can grab me and take me to the pool. And so it seems that he's a little bit frustrated when he's answering Jesus. And probably casting some blame on other people. Like, I can't get there because of them. And so you have to put yourself in this man's shoes. Okay? He is crippled for 38 years. Is he whole? No, it does not sound like he's whole. And so I think that heavenly message that we see here from this event is that Jesus is the only one who can make you whole. A whole, completely new person. Because when he sees the man again later, what does he tell him? Verse 14, now say it. Ashlyn.
The whole thing or just that one part?
Just that one part.
Sin no more, lest a worse thing come upon you.
Sin no more, lest a worse thing comes upon you.
What could be worse than being crippled? I guess blindness.
Mm-hmm.
You can see.
Yeah. Blindness, you can see. Now, the phrase before that, and there's a reason why I didn't want Ashlyn to read that part, but just before he said, sin no more, so that nothing worse happens to you. Before that, he says, see that you are well. Now, again, we have that word well. It's the same word that means whole. See that you are whole. Physically now, you're whole. But sin no more. What's worse than physical lameness or paralysis?
Not being able to get in heaven.
Spiritual.
Spiritual, not being able to get into heaven. Yes, sin. Sin is the worst thing. So what worse could happen? Sin. Sin could happen. Now, and the thing is this, he says, see that you are whole, but now go and sin no more. All right? So that nothing worse happens to you. Let me ask you this. So that. That's a reason. So that nothing worse happens to you. What does sin do to us? What if we die in sin? What happens?
Separates us.
from God.
Separation from God. See, I don't think when Jesus says, so that nothing worse happens to you, I don't think he's talking about something physical worse that could happen to you. I think he's talking about your spiritual destination, your ultimate destination when you die. Sin no more. What's that?
I'm just thinking out it. You're right. We automatically think, what's worse than being crippled? We're thinking of another physical problem,
Yeah.
but it is a spiritual problem.
It's a spiritual problem. It is. Physical infirmity is not the worst fate that can befall a person. Now, question 2 is, in what way, we kind of answered it, but in what way is a person spiritually sick or handicapped without Jesus in his life? We kind of already answered that. What is it?
Separation from God.
Separation from God. There you go. Separation from God. Sin and all that it does to us. A person who is separated from God is not whole. His life is not complete. His life is incomplete. His existence has no meaning apart from a relationship with the Father in heaven. So in the case of such spiritual sin sickness, only Jesus can make people whole. So, do you wish to be made whole? That same question still applies and is still being asked today. I think that's a great conversation starter right there, is it not?
Yeah.
Whew, man. I think that's a great conversation starter that you can have with people at work, with people at school, with whatever you do as recreational activities and hobbies go. I mean, that's a great conversation starter. Do you wish to be made whole? It's a valid and legitimate question. Who in here wants to be made whole? Come on, show of hands. Oh, Trevor, you don't want to be made whole? I'm messing with you. Do you want a life that is, filled and complete and full of meaning and purpose?
The first thing that I, in my mind, think they're going to say when you ask, do you want to be whole? Oh, you don't think I'm whole? You think I'm a sinner?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then what do you think?
What I think?
No, asking that prospect, asking that person.
Asking that
If
person.
they come up with that response.
You have to come with that response?
Why do you think I'm not whole?
What do you think's wrong with
None of us are.
Yeah,
That's why.
none of us are. That's right. And so who is the one that can make us whole and complete and full? Jesus Christ. Yes, absolutely. Only he can provide such wholeness. He will turn you away from the sin which destroys your relationship with God. He's the only one who can bring you into a reconciled, that is, a relationship that was once broken, a relationship that had been separated, that is now being brought back together. He's the only one who can do that. And of course, obviously, universally speaking, through the plan of redemption on the cross, he did such things. But, however, he's not going to force his will and his relationship on you. He's giving you a choice now saying, hey, you now have access. You now have access to a relationship with God, my Father. Are you wanting it? Do you want to be made whole? Do you want to be made complete? Well, if so, that's right. Then you share with them the good news of Jesus Christ and his plan of salvation.
Cory,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
he doesn't confront the man when he heals him. Do you want to be made whole? It's after he goes away. See, when he heals him, Jesus slipped away while there was a crowd in that place.
Mm-hmm.
Why did Jesus leave? Because maybe it wasn't at the right time. It was too crowded to really deal with it. But then he found him in the temple
That's right.
and wanted to finish teaching the man, finish
Yeah.
dealing with that situation.
Ooh.
And what was the man's response? Okay, I know who he was now.
Yeah.
And he goes to tell them,
Just to,
because they had asked him, who was it that told you to pick up your pallet and walk?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now he's Jesus.
Yep. It's Jesus the Christ. And this is not going to bode well with the Pharisees. All right, because again, for two things. When did Jesus do the healing? What day?
Sabbath.
On the Sabbath. On the Sabbath. How dare you heal a man who's been paralyzed for 38 years? How dare you do that and break the Sabbath and do some physical act of work?
And how dare he pick up his pallet
And how,
on the
Well, they
on
didn't.
the
Sabbath.
Sabbath.
They
yeah.
didn't care about all the other
Shabbat.
people that were
That's
around
right.
that day.
Huh?
So they didn't care about all the other people trying to get into that pool, carrying people down into the water and back up again.
That's if the water started
Yeah.
pouring out on the Sabbath. If it happened to fall on that day, then yeah. But I mean, it seems that like in this was just like an ordinary day. And it seemed like probably the pool was not flowing or outpouring with water. And that's another interesting thing too, is that a lot of people question, like, why do they think that they believe that there's some kind of miraculous cure that's found in the water? I tried doing a little bit of research and kind of got me nowhere really. And,
Well, verse 4 it just plain says, an angel of the Lord.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, it does say that, but accordingly, verse 4, there's been a lot of debate on whether if that verse is actually in the original Greek manuscript or if it was
Well,
inserted.
it's completely got a bracket around.
Yeah.
Well, the King
And
James
so
just
normally,
said
if you have
for
a
an
bracket
angel.
around, that normally tells you that it's not in the original, or not original, but like the earlier manuscripts of the Greek text. They think it's some kind of like insertion that was put in there by one of the translators to kind of help make
Scribe.
scribe to make it a little bit more sense for the
I know
reader.
this is not authoritative, but
Yeah.
the chosen claimed the belief of the water was Gentiles, not an act of God.
Mm.
And any Jew that went there, and they even claimed that this crippled man's name was Jesse,
Yeah.
the brother of Simon the Zealot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
See how they tried to
Yeah.
put it together?
Yeah.
Did there a lot of research? Did they do a lot of research and put this together? I've seen some discrepancies. I got on the kick to watch The Chosen because I heard about it, and found a place where I could see it free.
Mhm.
And so I've been watching it, but
Mhm.
there's some problems with it, but it also kind of brings it to your mind. And when there's not a difficulty, a contradiction between what they say
Mhm.
and what is found in the Bible,
Yeah.
it's pretty eye-opening.
It is.
It's pretty dramatic with this guy's struggling to get to the water,
Mhm.
and no one's there to
Oh,
help
yes.
him, and
Yeah.
he's frustrated.
Oh
And
yeah.
it showed a period of time that transpired from
Yeah.
when he first was
And
there,
the
and
older
it got
year,
older and older
yeah.
and older.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, it's rough. I mean, that's the one thing that I like about The Chosen is how they provide a good visualization for like things along that. I mean, they show you how the struggle looked like, how it really was.
Yeah.
And I mean, I fell for this man. I did. I fell real hard for this man. It's like, man, 38 years. 38 years. But it's like, I wonder if he got to a point where it's like, I think I'm probably going to be like this for the rest of my life. But he still kept fighting. He still kept trying to get there whenever that water started pouring. But I found, go ahead.
I was like, finish.
I know, I was just going to say that one of the interesting things, at least, I don't call it a lead, but maybe some kind of hint as far as like why they probably were so superstitious about this water is that some were indicating that perhaps that when people brought their animals to sacrifice at the temple, they would actually wash the animals there in that pool before they take them to be sacrificed. And somehow that maybe perhaps got into some people's minds that like, well, this is an offering that's being cleansed, for God and a sacrifice. Maybe perhaps if I can cleanse myself in there, I mean, I can be like an offering to God, and He can probably show grace and mercy and heal me. That's a stretch, a big stretch. But like I said, I mean, I don't know how this, superstition of this water kind of started. There's not much information on that, but it's pretty interesting. What? Elaine, yeah.
I have a question about it because I understand from this that only the first person
that went into the water was the only one that was healed. But did this man actually go in the water, because all Jesus told him to do was to get up and take up his bed and walk?
Mhm.
So it doesn't say whether he went into the water or if he just went on to the temple, walking to go back there, so.
Well, I mean, two things. One is that when he's answering Jesus, it's through like a necessary inference or sort of like implication that what he tells Jesus kind of implies that he's never made it to the water. And then now, after he heals him, I mean, he's walking. What's the point of going into the water?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just tells him to get up.
He just tells him, get up. And then so he got up and he's healed. And so like he's like, there's no reason for me to go in that water now. Yeah. But interesting. I mean, this passage right here gives you like a lot of questions, but also at the same time, I mean, we have what we have, and the Holy Spirit believed that this was enough for you to understand that the message behind this healing is that who is it, and who is the only one who can make you whole.
What you're saying is
Jesus.
we've been given enough details
Yes.
to learn, to believe, and understand.
Yes.
And why do we want more? That's
Exactly.
just curiosity sometimes. Like I brought up, well, why did Jesus not talk to him there? Why did he wait till the temple to talk to him more?
We don't know.
Now, that's
Yes,
just human
it is.
curiosity, and sometimes it gets us in trouble.
It does. Gets us in very
It
trouble.
leads us to maybe conclusions that aren't there.
Exactly. And that and how this whole superstition of the water came up, I mean, I looked at least maybe 3 or 4 reliable sources, and when I couldn't find any leads, I was like, okay, that's it. Nope. I mean, because I don't want to get off track, because stuff like that can lead you down, I mean, a long roadway that will leave you with more questions, and that's sometimes, what Paul warns us about.
Curiosity.
1 Timothy chapter 6, he tells us like, be careful, and not go on into teachings of babbles and, myths and fables and wives' tale and, all that stuff. He goes, because that's not sound teaching. It's unhealthy.
Curiosity
Unhealthy
kills the scriptures.
What's that? Yeah.
All right, so do we know that anyone was healed there after getting in the water?
No, we don't.
I have thought the same thing.
So this was just what they thought, and so that's why they were there.
Yeah. But that was another question I had. Is
Well,
same as like, what
well,
about
they
those who did make it to the water?
If they didn't see anybody healed, they wouldn't keep going.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They probably had somebody
Well, no,
planted there
that
to get
man
into
had
the
been
water
there
first,
many
and then it's like, hey, I'm healed.
Yeah.
Already.
But why
Or-
pick this man?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said, why pick this man? There's a whole crowd of people there. Why pick this one?
Mm-hmm.
There was
Well-
a reason.
Yeah.
There was a reason for everything Jesus did.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a Jew.
Oh, I think it was too.
38 years.
Well, he had to be, because he was at the
He's
temple.
at the temple, yeah, because Gentiles can only
Well,
stay
they
in the
had
court of the
court,
Gentiles.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah, but 38 years of being sick, and him going back every 38, 4 times a year, like you
Mhm.
said, for 38 years, that's kind of
Well, they didn't know
38
when that
years,
was
he
going
was
to
a
happen,
baby
though,
for a
right?
while.
Yeah.
So they just stayed there all the time.
All the
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
They just stayed there waiting for that moment.
oh,
Yes.
okay. But that shows, I don't know, that shows
Yeah.
dedication to me. I'd probably gonna say, I ain't going on.
Yeah. Well, it kind of makes me wonder, like, the ones that did make it to the pool, I mean, did they just automatically assume that they were healed and so they left, and yet they actually found out that they weren't and they came back? But I don't know, like, if nobody got healed, why do they keep going? I mean, see, questions like that, they're interesting, curious questions, but we don't have answers for that. And so I think it's best to just, focus on who it is that can actually heal us and who can make us whole, and that's Jesus.
I believe our study, if there's a question,
Mhm.
if we could study and try to find the answer, that's great.
Oh, yeah.
It will help. All the knowledge that we get from our study is going to serve us in
Mhm.
our faith, and add the ability to explain to others.
Mhm.
But we don't make things up. We don't read between the lines. If there's a necessary inference that you can conclude
Mhm.
that brings out truth,
Mhm.
then do it.
Yeah.
But
read it in Deuteronomy, what is it, 5?
Oh, 29.
Yeah.
The
Yes,
things-
secret things, yeah.
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 That's a good point. I
Yeah.
didn't think of
That's
that.
a good
Keep
point.
that in mind, because there's a lot of things we don't know that we're not necessarily.
We're not going to understand.
Yeah,
He doesn't have it in there.
that's right.
Well, if we had the information, we would understand.
Right.
But God's given us what we need to know to understand.
Yes, right.
Right.
He's
Because
got,
we see too many
To
examples.
understand how to be saved.
That's
You
right.
know, we may
Yeah.
not know all the details.
Yeah. Okay. Well, after going to the Pharisees, telling them who the man was, what had happened and whatnot, realizing that this man took up his pallet and started walking on the Sabbath, and that this man Jesus was healing on the Sabbath. How dare he, he breaks the Sabbath law. And it's like, you're the man who's walking. He's been paralyzed for 38 years, and you're not going to rejoice in that? And it's, but
Where most of the, I was going to ask if most of his miracles before that were private, but no,
No, and there
This
were
first-
many on the Sabbath
many
day.
at Cana there was
Mhm.
many people,
oh yeah,
but he also told them don't speak of it.
yeah,
So at this one, the persecution starts.
mm-hmm.
I see that Jesus now realizes he knows it's going to happen anyway,
Yeah.
don't
Yes, he does.
he? He knows how people are going to attack him and
Is,
be
it-
mad at him and
is this the
all
part?
that.
Is this the part
Now
where
he did it
oh, go.
even knowing they would rise up against him.
Mm.
Is this the part where Jesus says, "Who of you wouldn't have an animal fall into a ditch and pull them out on the Sabbath?" Or is that a different
Not
spot?
here,
Not here.
but he does.
He does say that, yeah, but it's not in this one.
But that's one thing that I was thinking too, is this is one of the times he doesn't tell him, don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Which was unusual.
It was.
Most of the time he did.
Yeah, he normally told the person, don't say a word, but now he doesn't tell this man about it. And so,
Is there anything in the thought he slipped away? When it's in verse 13, the man was healed, but did not know it was Jesus
yeah,
because he had slipped away. Is there what comes through your mind thinking, okay, Jesus healed him, now he slips away from the crowd because he's had other things to do. That,
maybe he knew what was about to happen, or
yeah.
Well, the whole multitude would have came around him saying,
That's
heal
right.
me, heal me, heal me.
Yeah,
Right?
it was like, okay, yeah,
I was thinking that it was giving the man time to think about what had happened and maybe who he was talking to.
ooh,
Could very well
that could be very, very high possibility that could be the case. I think there's there's a lot of I'd say a lot of I guess
Thought.
yeah
Things
thought,
we
what's
don't
that word I'm
know.
looking for, what
Things we don't know.
yeah things that we don't know, but there's a lot of logical, I guess, assumptions or guesses, as you might want to call them, as to maybe perhaps why he slipped away, to give the man some time to think and thought about what just happened. Perhaps maybe because all the multitudes there, and then like, heal me next, heal me next, heal me next, or because he knew it was about to happen with the Pharisees and everything, and etc. So it could be all the above. Who knows? Maybe it's all the above. But now, when the Pharisees finally approach him, now let's see what happens here in this next section. And I think the bell's going to ring. But we can go ahead and at least maybe start with verses 18 through 29.
I'll read.
Okay.
For this reason, therefore, the Jews were seeking all the more to kill him because he not only was breaking the Sabbath, but also was calling God his Father, making himself equal with God. Therefore Jesus answered and was saying to them, Truly, truly, I say to you, the Son can do nothing of himself unless it is something he sees the Father doing. For whatever the Father does, these things the Son also does in like manner. For the Father loves the Son, and shows him all things that he himself is doing. And the Father will show him greater works than these, so that you will marvel. For just as the Father raises the dead and gives them life, even so the Son also gives life to whom he wishes. For not even the Father judges anyone, but he has given all judgment to the Son, so that all will honor the Son even as they honor the Father. Who does not honor the Son does not honor the Father who sent him. Truly, truly, I say to you, he who hears my word and believes him who sent me has eternal life and does not come into judgment, but has passed out of death into life. Now that's a natural break there in mind. You want to keep going?
Yeah, 25 through 29.
All right. Truly, truly, I say to you, an hour is coming, and now is when the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God. Those who hear will live. For just as the Father has life in himself, even so he gave the Son also to have life in himself. And he gave him authority to execute judgment because he is the Son of God. Do not marvel at this, for an hour is coming in which all who are in the tombs will hear his voice and will come forth, those who did the good deeds to a resurrection of life, and those who committed the evil deeds to a resurrection of judgment.
All right, thank you. Okay. So here in verse 19 through 29, we see that Jesus is going to be given his incredible claims. And then verses 30 through 47, he's going to be giving his impeccable credentials. Yes. So you can break this section down into two major sections, his incredible claims and then his impeccable credentials. And so those impeccable credentials is going to be your homework to do, all right? And so that deals with question 3. Jesus has 5 impeccable credentials or witnesses to help prove and testify that he is, in fact, one with God, that he's God himself, and that he is the Christ. And so I want you to read and study and come back and answer that question. What are those 5 witnesses? All right. Well, hey, great class tonight. Great comments. Appreciate y'all. So y'all have a blessed night.